Welcome to the Executive America podcast, where we speak with the country's most influential industry leaders on the business and economic development issues taking place nationally. You can stay up to date with all of our content, including our publications, newsletters, and podcasts by visiting www.executiveamerica.com and clicking on subscribe.
Today's guest is Joshua Bowen. Joshua serves as the principal broker and is a co-owner of LaPlante Real Estate, a full-service real estate brokerage and property management company in Toledo, Ohio. Josh has been in what he calls the relationship business for over 20 years. He has a deep knowledge of business operations from restaurants, hotels, and resorts to banking and construction with a passion for service. His full-time career in real estate transitioned in 2014 to assisting domestic and international investors to develop long-term plans to build wealth and identify investment opportunities to deliver on those goals in the Toledo and Northwest Ohio region. He treasures spending time with his children, family, and friends. He enjoys science fiction movies, fishing, cooking, wine, antiques, and all things real estate. Joshua, how are you today?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
Very good. So tell us the background of LaPlante Real Estate and how you got started in this endeavor.
So first, it's interesting. So LaPlante Real Estate, LaPlante in French means the tree, but it's actually named after a street. So we have LaPlante Road, which is here just south of Toledo. And we started our business on that particular street. And we were trying to come up with a name, and just so happened that it just stuck. So we started that working really as real estate investors ourselves. And my business partner, Andrew Fiddler, started investing in rental properties in 2009. By the time we got to about 2014 through 2017, him and I had come together operating two separate businesses. He had a renovation company and I had a real estate brokerage.
Okay.
And fast forward to about the end of 2018, we just decided that it was not only in our best interest, but also in the best interest of our clients to take those two operating businesses and smash them together in a process that was actually quite messy, but to serve our clients in the area of property management, renovation, and rentals. So that's really LaPlante Real Estate was just this little thing, and now we're 38 employees. It's quite a big operation now.
So, how do you go? You've got sort of reno and real estate services. So do you want to tell me about how you go from effectively being a property management company into effectively, being brokers? And I know you mentioned to me that you work with a lot of clients, both from out of state as well as internationally.
And absolutely. The clients that we have really here in our area, I can count on one hand. We have over 200 clients, and the majority are abroad. Australia, Singapore, the UK, Dubai, and then within the United States, it's primarily East Coast, West Coast. Down the East Coast, New York, down to Florida, West Coast, California, Washington, Arizona, Texas. So, and we really looked at from our perspective as real estate investors. Andrew and we met at a real estate investment meetup here in town, and we just really had a lack of solid property management. And one of the complaints that we heard from not only just clients calling us, asking us questions about real estate investing, but also within our local town, was that people just didn't answer the phone. And when they did answer the phone, they couldn't understand what they were telling them. They didn't give clear responses. They weren't direct. And that's something that we looked at as like, hey, look, we've got people coming to us that are looking to spend, in some cases, a lot of money. They want to buy rental properties. They want them professionally managed. And if they can't get something simple as someone to answer their phone call or respond to their email, this is not going to be a fruitful endeavor. So both he and I were like, how can we do this? And he really had the renovation part of it down. And he was renovating, for other investors as well as himself, probably about 20 properties a month. And
Right.
I had the part down where I knew how to run a real estate brokerage and I knew how to teach people about real estate. So that was really the component of getting together, and we really focused on helping people. Focused on helping them take whatever that asset is that they purchase and turning them into cash positive assets that were meeting their goals. And that's something that's really important to us when we go through that interview process when we're onboarding a new client. Is the majority of our conversation is really talking about what are your goals in real estate? Because I mean, if you're looking to buy one property and retire early, it's probably not going to work out, right? That's not something that's going to be sustainable. So, and really focusing on that relationship, and just like you said in your opening remarks, I truly believe that my job, I'm in the relationship business. Real estate is a product. We don't
Yes.
sell real estate. We sell a service that supports real estate. But ultimately, I'm in the business of building relationships, because if someone else is meeting their goals and we are providing those services that allow that individual to meet their goals, then that's really our business.
Mm.
And that's really going to sustain us well into the future. And I mean, I've got 4 daughters.
Wow.
And my oldest is going to be 18 here in 2 months. And I really want to have a business that sticks around. I'm not here to just be transactional and sell a house and then get a commission and walk away.
So you mentioned, I think you're close to 40 staff now. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about, the overall footprint of the business?
Sure. We started off with literally just, I think, 3 people sitting in our office, and we decided that really the best way to manage residential real estate was to sort of use the assembly line approach. And a lot of other companies, I know, they'll have like a central property manager for a group of properties, and that property manager does everything. I mean, they
Yes.
communicate with the tenants, they collect the rent, they deal with the maintenance issues, they provide the reporting, they're the point of contact for that particular individual. And that overall, that really bogs you down. You really can't grow past a certain point. And it really also, if you have one person leave, that throws a wrench in the whole thing, right? If
Yes.
your property manager leaves, then all that information, all that communication has to be relearned by someone else.
Mm.
So we took that approach and said, okay, we want to segment this, we want to departmentalize it. So we have an operations group, we have an accounting group, we have what we call property management, which also has field services and renovations. Field services is our maintenance division. So these are the folks that when someone calls into our office and says, hey, I have a maintenance issue, that goes to our maintenance coordinator. Then that information is cataloged, disseminated out to our maintenance team. And they're the ones that are going out to the property and to our residents' home, and they're offering that support, right?
Hmm.
From our renovation standpoint, those are typically, someone's moving out. We know the house is going to be vacant. It's going to need to be repaired, or the property's already vacant. And our renovation team handles that whole internal process. And ultimately, we try to focus all of the information as far as the communication to our owner through what we call a relationship manager. And the relationship manager sort of keeps track of all of the day-to-day activities and provides the updates and answers the questions. But ultimately, we've got people in operations, our support specialists, they're talking to the tenant. They're dealing with the tenant's ledger and answering questions. We've got our accounting group that's processing payments. We've got folks in the office that just handle utility bills. They scan and process all of the utility bills and make sure that that communication is going through. And then we have one licensed agent that her entire responsibility, she works part-time, but her entire responsibility is working through lease renewals and
Right.
making sure that we're communicating with our owner and the resident to renew their leases when they're coming due.
Mm,
And then our entire leasing division is marketing our vacant properties and working to get them leased. And that's actually my fiance is in charge of that group, and we've been doing that. She's been working on that since 2016, and so we found it easier to provide the owners with the communication that they needed, as well as provide the service to the residents that they needed by having departmentalized service within our company.
mm.
And we all live here in a 26,000 square foot facility, which you might go, wow, that's pretty big. Well, it is, but we've got a warehouse. That's where all of our maintenance people get their supplies. We have maintenance vans, and this particular location where we found this sits about 80% of our managed portfolio sits within a 3-mile radius of our building.
Yeah, right.
So it really helps us to quickly service. And we have lobby hours, so residents can come to the lobby and turn in information and make payments and things. So yeah.
Okay. So effectively, from what I'm hearing from you, then what we want to tell people is all of these services are done in-house. It's kind of a one-stop shop from prospecting, buying, and maintaining
Handle it all.
investment properties.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned residential, but I think you work in a few other facets of property. So do you want to tell me, I guess, all the types that you guys handle and assist people with?
Sure. Yeah. Residential is our primary focus. And that is, both residential, like a single family home, like a brick, let's call it a brick 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch home. Residential multifamily. So you've got an apartment building or some similar complex, but we also handle commercial. So that commercial could be, a retail area, or it could be an office space, or maybe even a warehouse, like our own warehouse. And as far as land services, so if you've got a piece of land and you're looking to have a developer come in and develop maybe single family homes, we also are in that segment with another sister company. And we've got currently a housing development that's in the process right now of 72 single family homes within a short distance from here.
Mm.
So that full spectrum, as a real estate investor, real estate investors, you might have one individual that wants to be in residential single family homes, and that's what they have a passion for. You might have a different investor that's looking to buy land or be maybe a funding partner for spec homes, or maybe you have another investor that only buys strip malls.
Yeah, right.
And so we have the ability to service and support all of those different types of investor, and it depends on what their goals are.
As I mentioned to you, the reason why we reached out to you initially is your interview with us is going to be part of a larger feature that we're doing on the state of Ohio. So do you want to tell me a little bit about the state and what you think about Toledo itself as a place to do business?
Sure. I mean, Ohio is really it's the quintessential Midwestern state. We have a really low cost of living, but we have really great amenities. Our art, architecture, culture, food, from dining to entertainment, our metro parks and our green space, to our zoos and outdoor venues like baseball and football, and we have hockey and soccer arenas.
Mm-hmm.
And really, Ohio is home to a number of Fortune 500 companies, and in Toledo specifically. We've Got Libby Glass that's home here. We've got Daimler Chrysler manufacturing. We've got a Jeep plant that's here. in Toledo. What is really nice about Toledo is we were just ranked one of the top 10, I believe actually number one most livable cities. We actually had another one come out. I can't remember where the report was cited, but they actually even ranked us in the top 10 investable cities for new investors.
Yeah, right.
But really what I like is, we're a port city. We have the Maumee River. We sit directly on Lake Erie. So when it comes to being on the water and water sports and, that the seasonality of experiencing all of the seasons and going into spring and summer and being able to just go outside and have fun, there's a lot to do here in Ohio in general.
And, what do you think the future holds for your business then?
I think that I'm in this business because of relationships, and I have seen exponential growth over the last 10 years, not just in real estate, but in all of the components that make up a really great community. We've had so much investment that has come into our town and our city, and just within I was attending a meeting with our development folks just a few months ago, and within our region alone, within the next 2 to 3 years, we've got $4 billion worth of development. They just built 2 very large Amazon facilities here to keep up with the Amazon demand. So from my perspective, I mean, this is really such a good time to be here and to be part of everything that is going on, because all that we're seeing is opportunity. All that we're seeing is, reinvestment in our streets and our infrastructure, and, new investment in not just manufacturing, but also in, the cultural components of what makes our community great.
And before we finish today, is there anything that you haven't had a chance to address or would like to otherwise discuss?
I think I'm a talker and I'm a storyteller, so I think I've pretty much covered everything other than just the one component that if you are looking, if you're a listener or a reader out there and you're looking to invest in real estate, the number one piece of advice that I would give anyone is that make sure that you go into it with eyes wide open and understand that there's risk involved in any investment. And I would also partner with somebody that is responsive, and that it might be a little self-serving for me, but someone that has your goals in mind. Because ultimately, any investment that you do, whether that be in stocks or bonds or metal or whatever you're investing in, that has to be able to meet your goals. Otherwise, it's not worthwhile.
Well, Joshua, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been a production of Executive America, a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with Executive America, including our publications, newsletters, and podcasts by visiting www.executiveamerica.com and clicking on subscribe.